What's happening, everybody? It's Jeff Lightsey Jr. here with the Black Boss Channel. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because we upload every single day. Now, today I am here to talk about Lil Baby in his meeting with Kamala Harris. Now, if you guys don't know, Lil Baby, the rapper out of Atlanta, seemed to have had a meeting with Vice President Kamala Harris to discuss. I don't even know. I can't tell you what they discussed, but it looks like the picture was posted today via Lil Baby's Instagram. And I'm going to show you the picture and I'm going to share with you my screen and the caption. And then we're going to dive into it. We're going to have an intellectual conversation about, Kamala Harris meeting with Lil Baby and what we think about it. So this is via Lil Baby's Instagram. Let me blow up my screen a little bit and maybe we'll get some guests in on here a little bit later. But this is via Lil Baby's Instagram. And put your hashtag B1s in the chat. Hashtag B1s in the chat, guys. Hashtag B1s in the chat. And we'll get started. So, Lil Baby, he had met with Kamala Harris. And in his caption, he said, big shout out to VP, which is Kamala Harris, for taking the time out of her busy day to sit with me and have an open discussion. This is hashtag we got to start somewhere. So for those who don't know, Lil Baby came out with a song this summer called The Bigger Picture. And in The Bigger Picture, he talks about, starting somewhere. And, he's like, it's bigger than black and white. It's something. It's like a political song, right? And in the song, he even mentions, because obviously during the summer of 2020, we had a lot of political unrest, a lot of political uprising and things like that. And Lil Baby decided to make a song about it. And in that song, he shows a lot of the protests, because we know all the protests took place in the summer of 2020. And he dives into, what should be happening. And obviously he made his statements known. But after the song was released, Lil Baby was very adamant to let everybody know, hey, I'm not a political rapper. You know what I'm saying? Even in the song, he says, yeah, I rap about killing and dope, but I tell my youngins to vote. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for, like the political consciousness. I liked where you were going, but you just sat there and stated that you rap about killing and dope, but you're telling your youngins to vote. Like, that's going to make a difference. Because, we've been voting since 1965, since 1968. We've been able to vote, and it's the killings are still happening. You know what I mean? Like, you mass promote. You even admitted it. I mass promote killing and dope and selling drugs and taking drugs and doing all these things. So I say all of that to say this. Why in the hell is Lil Baby, the same rapper who talked about rapping about killing and dope, even in his political song, The Bigger Picture, in a meeting with Kamala Harris? Why is a rapper who admits he raps about killing and dope in a meeting with Kamala Harris instead of, I don't know, one of our real black leaders like Dr. Claude Anderson, who has a plan for reparations? Instead of just studying reparations, we could have someone in there who is intellectual, who can make things happen, and who would actually have a solution. Because it's very interesting, right? Because we've been trying to get, whether it's police, social justice on the police reform, whether it's getting things in our community and making things happen that way. We do a lot of talking about it. And our political figures all guarantee, the Joe Biden administration, the Kamala Harris administration, all guarantee we're going to make change. We're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and we're going to do this, and going to do that. And these folks have been in office since January, and I've yet to see anything really tangible. The closest thing to a real tangible that we've received as the black community is a study of reparations. That's the only tangible that I've seen. And so that is what's taking place. But here's the thing. So be sure to hit the thumbs up button, guys. Thumbs up on the way in. So here's the thing. So we talk a lot about, like, we do a lot of talking. And we uplift these celebrities like Lil Baby or, whoever else was there at the White House, these rappers, these actors, these whoever. But we're not getting our black leaders in the front line. And if you think somebody like a Ben Crump is your black leader, you might as well go ahead and get out now, because I can guarantee you, if Ben Crump is on the scene, ain't much happening. A check might be getting written, but ain't much happening. And you know, no disrespect to Ben Crump, but hell, that's just the truth. No real change takes place when Ben Crump is on the scene. He was on the scene. And so all of this took place on the anniversary, the 1-year anniversary of the killing of George Floyd, right? So think about this. Kamala Harris decides to meet with Lil Baby, right? You know, okay, whatever. You decide to do that. That would be, you know how all of this Asian hate crime, all of this Asian hate propaganda, all of this Asian hate stuff is taking place? Imagine if, you know, when this Asian hate push was going through, because that's essentially what's been happening to Black people for 400 years. But some reason now Asians are saying that they're getting hate crimes and they're targeting us, saying we're the ones doing all the hating and attacking and all of this craziness, you know, whatever. But imagine if while this Asian hate crime push is being made, right, that Joe Biden decided to have a meeting with Jackie Chan. Imagine if Joe Biden decided to have a meeting with Jet Li, Jackie Chan, Lucy Liu. Like, I think the Asians would be pretty damn pissed if they saw Jackie Chan or Jet Li or Lucy Liu representing them in a political arena, on a political stage, in something that would require legislation or hate crime bills or whatever. Just imagine that. Imagine if instead of sending, I don't know, your top, Asian political, politician or leader or whoever, they sent Jackie Chan up there. You know, Jackie Chan, the one that makes Rush Hour and action movies and comedies. Or Lucy Liu, who's in movies. Or Jet Li, who does a lot of karate and fighting in movies. Well, that's essentially the same as sending Lil Baby to the White House. That's essentially the same as sending Lil Baby to meet with Kamala Harris. It ain't Judge Joe Brown or Dr. Claude Anderson or someone of significance. It's Lil freaking Baby, the same rapper who raps about killing and dope in his political song, not about his regular music. And don't get me wrong, I'd be a hypocrite if I said I don't listen to Lil Baby. I'd be a hypocrite if I said at 25, when I'm riding through and I'm at the club or I'm partying or whatever, Lil Baby ain't getting jammed. I'm not discrediting Lil Baby and his talent in the music arena, but that's where he should be, in the music arena. Like that's not what, like, when we're talking about legislation for Black people, or we're talking about reparations, or we're talking about, actually executive orders or political conversations. No offense to Lil Baby, but there's nothing in his track record that tells me he should be representing our people. He should not be the one in that seat next to Kamala Harris. And that's no diss to Lil Baby. That is no diss to Lil Baby at all. Because that's not to say Lil Baby can't change, right? We've seen actors or entertainers or whoever, grow and develop into someone who's more politically savvy or more politically aware, or really fighting, putting their money in their mouth behind the Black community over, the white dollar. We've seen it. We saw the evolution of Ice Cube. Now, granted, Ice Cube is probably about 25 years older than Lil Baby. Ice Cube was, what Lil Baby's doing in 2021, Ice Cube was doing in the 80s. So when Ice Cube dives into the political arena in 2021, it's a little different. It's a little different. But the thing about Ice Cube is that when he decided to jump into politics, he didn't do it by himself. He didn't just go up and try to schedule a meeting by himself with Joe Biden, or at the time Donald Trump, where everybody crucified him for that. Donald Trump was the sitting president. He got help. He reached out to Dr. Boyce Watkins. He reached out to Dr. Claude Anderson. He put together the Contract of Black America with several scholars, several political activists, real political activists, not the ones that are in your face on television. He put together a group, a team, and came together with these kind of things. So yeah, like, there is a way for some entertainers to be able to cross over, but they ain't doing it by themselves. They have as many years of knowledge and activism on their side, real, true grassroots Black activism, not the activism that'll get you paid, not the ambulance chasing activism, not the activism you show up on the scene after a Black man dies and we all say kumbaya and march to the police station together. Not that. Real activism that is incorporating change. That is what Ice Cube did. So that is the biggest difference between Lil Baby meeting with Kamala Harris and what Ice Cube did with meeting with, he didn't even meet with the Trump administration. He just said, here's my contract with Black America. I want to talk to Trump, who was the sitting president and could have easily been reelected. Let's not act like Trump did get 75 million votes, which was which would have been the most votes ever. And the current Democratic representative running for president, which was Joe Biden. He said, I just want to meet with both of them. And here are real demands, real tangibles that can take place as soon as you step foot in office if you're Joe Biden, or right now while you're in office if you're Donald Trump. And Trump and his team were the only people to even respond to Ice Cube. Joe Biden and them said, we'll hit you back after the election. The election happened last I checked. Biden got inaugurated in January, at the end of January. It's the end of May. So we're talking about 4 months. We're talking about over 120 days. And still, we have yet to see any tangibles for our community. We have yet to hear Ice Cube and say, yeah, I just kicked it with Joe Biden, and he said he's going to do X, Y, and Z. But you know why? They won't do that, and instead we'll meet with people like Ben Crump and Lil Baby. No disrespect to Lil Baby. He's catching a lot of these stray bullets, but I just want to make these points. It's because Kamala Harris meeting with Lil Baby gives her cool points in the Black community. As sad as it sounds, not legislation, not guaranteeing reparations, not actually doing something that helps, the Black economics or the Black, political system, or getting Black people to be free thinkers and think more like bosses and less like employees. That doesn't get her cool points. That doesn't get her 1 million likes on Instagram. Look at Lil Baby's post again. We're going to share it again. He got over 1 million likes talking about his meeting with Kamala Harris. It says, big shout out to @VP, which is Kamala Harris, for taking the time out of her busy day to sit with me and have an open discussion. # we got to start somewhere. This picture has received 1.6 million likes. 1.6 million likes. They got a nice little action shot. Looks like they're talking and maybe discussing something. 1.6 million people hit the like button on this photo. So that means they like what they see. It's got, who knows how many comments? Probably over 1 million comments or a couple 100,000 comments. Come on, people. We can't be serious. It's almost like I'm living in an episode of The Simpsons or Family Guy or something. Because it's like, what productivity do we get out of this meeting between Kamala Harris and Lil Baby? Like, I'm just curious. What, leave your thoughts in the chat. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. But leave your thoughts in the chat. What productivity do we get out of this conversation between Lil Baby and Kamala Harris? Like, what do you all think? Because I can't think of one serious thing that we get out of a conversation between a pretty big rap star, but who admits about killing. He says he admits it. He admits in his political song, guys. We have to make sure I differentiate that, right? Lil Baby makes his regular music, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever he makes it. It's good stuff. To somebody who enjoys that style of music, it's good stuff. But in his political song, he dipped in a different bag this past summer, and he made a song about all the protests and all the violence and the police killings, and he was bringing awareness. I guess that was his version of like bringing awareness to the song. And in the song, I know the song, I've listened to it a lot of times. He says, I rap about killing and dope, but I'm telling my youngins to vote. Although I rap about killing and dope, I'm telling my youngins to vote. I can't make this up. I cannot make this up. So what in the hell? Please tell me. Leave your thoughts in the chat. What is productive that comes out of a conversation between him and Kamala Harris? In his political song, he says, I rap about killing and dope, but I telling my youngest to vote. It's catchy. It rhymes. Sounds good over 16 bars. Sounds good over a beat. But I can't. You know what? This thought just came to me. What happens is we Black people as a community, we've seen what's happening with the Asians, right? So the Asians are getting a lot of attention and they're getting actual legislation. Like pen to pad is getting done. We just saw Joe Biden sign the Asian hate crime bill. The legislation is done. It's in. It's a wrap. It's official. If you mess with somebody of Asian descent, even if you rap about doing something to somebody Asian, you going to jail or your content's getting removed. We got to make sure, even talking about it, it's happening. That's what happened because they weren't sending Jackie Chan and Lucy Liu up to talk to Joe Biden. But what happens is, so I say all that to say this. So the Asians have just gotten this bill and Black people are across the country are pissed, right? We've been we're the ones who got Joe Biden elected. He admitted it. Kamala Harris admitted it. Black people, not Asians. Black people are the reason why Joe Biden got elected. So to distract you away from the fact that the Asians just got a hate crime bill passed in their name, we're going to give you a photo op with Kamala Harris and one of your favorite entertainers, Lil Baby. So that'll it's like, look over here while we're doing all this stuff for the Asians, and you guys get a photo op. You guys get invited to the White House. You guys get to do this. You guys don't get any legislation, no bills, no nothing. But you get Lil Baby and Kamala Harris sitting down chopping it up. I think we got one of our guests in, Brother T. Khalik. He's in the building. T, how's it going, man?
Good, man.
Yeah,
can you hear me well?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. We can hear you. We can definitely hear you. This is Brother T. Khalik. He is a constant contributor here on the Black Boss channel. And T, I sent the picture earlier. You saw that Kamala Harris had a sit down with the rapper Lil Baby on the anniversary of the killing of George Floyd yesterday. Just kind of tell me your thoughts when you saw the picture. I've been ranting on here for a while now, but just kind of tell me what you thought when you first saw that image. Yeah, you're on mute, T. I think your sound went out.
Okay. Can you?
Now you're back.
All good? Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah, man. This is just something that I'm not surprised about. It's kind of, it's kind of quelling the Black community for pretty much doing nothing for us as usual. Pretty much saying that, look at us. We can relate to you. We can relate to your celebrities. So we are hip to your culture. So this is kind of a way that they always pacify us. I mean, Lil Baby, man, look at his music, bro. The guy is not involved. Why are they talking, bro? It's disrespectful. Like, they are going to the most least educated among us and sitting down talking about issues. That's not respectful. There are people with skin in the game getting straight up ignored.
Yeah.
Ice Cube still haven't got his justice, bro. When are we talking to Ice Cube, bro? Y'all told us we was going to talk to him last year. They ain't going to talk to him, bro. And it's just that, Black people are the ones we're going to have to figure out when we're going to put our feet down. I mean, This is blatant disrespect, to be honest with you. Blatant.
What I saw it as, one perspective that I took, once again, I'm talking to T. Khalik. We're talking about the photo op that took place between Vice President Kamala Harris and the rap star Lil Baby. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe on your way in. T, what I kind of saw it as, and I want to get your opinion on this, is that we saw the Asian hate bill get passed, right? We saw Joe Biden grinning, smiling from ear to ear, signing that with all the, I'm assuming the political leaders in the Asian community behind them, and they got that, quick, fast, and in a hurry. It was no debates, no studies, no nothing. They got passed, and it was recent, right? And so Biden and Kamala Harris and all of these different people were catching heat for that because, they guaranteed us this big, long list, Biden's, Welcome to America plan or whatever it was. I can't even think of the name of it right now, but he had these big, long plan that he was supposed to do for Black people. And we're 4 months in, and I've yet to see any tangibles actually take place from that plan, right? So after this Asian bill has taken place, to distract you from, continue to jump on their case about this plan that hasn't, come to fruition, we're going to show you in a photo op with Lil Baby because he's one of your favorite entertainers, and that's going to get you to be quiet for a little bit. What are your thoughts on that? That was kind of like my conspiracy. That's what I saw that happen.
Hey, brother, you got a really sharp mind because that's exactly what it is. You know, we did this for the Asians, and now we sitting down talking. See, talking is different from action. We're talking to Lil Baby about social injustice. But the thing about the Asian bill is if you read it, I mean, first of all, nothing says people of color. Nothing says minorities. They focus specifically on Asians. All of them are on code on Asians, and the Democrats know is if they ignore the Asians going to raise hell about it. They're going to say, you know what? They ignored us when the Asian hate crimes was going on. So why are we still supporting them? See, what black people have to understand is consequences. When people ignore you, you bring that up to an election. You ignore this, we're not going to deal with you. But if there's no consequences, just like when Joe Biden was disrespecting black people, saying you ain't black, did the whole crime bill, threw us under the bus in front of the Latino community, saying unlike the black community, y'all are diverse, things of that nature, and we're still telling black people to go vote, despite all that. That's why we're ignoring. And even to this day, let me ask you, where are our black political leaders pressuring the Biden administration? No. So this is why we're in the state that we're in.
Yeah, man. Yeah, all we got during election season was anything's better than Trump. Anything's better than Trump. Anything's better than Trump. You got to get Biden in because anything's better than Trump. And all we've seen since Biden has been in, I mean, it ain't been better than Trump. The only thing Biden does differently from Trump, from me, now you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that he's subtle. Trump was very direct. Right or wrong, whatever they were saying was right or wrong, Biden covered it up and laced it with sugar and rainbow and, sprinkles. You know what I mean? Like he made it soft, whereas Trump was like, look, man, this is what I do and this is how I'm going to do it. Whether you like it or love it, whether you hate it or like it, this is how it's going to happen. He was very direct. He was very arrogant, but he was super direct. Biden is like, we're all going to be good and all the people of color, and I'm going to do everything for black people. And instead, I do everything for the Jewish community, and I do everything for the Asian community, and I do everything for everybody else except for black people. But I'm going to invite Ben Crump to the White House. I'm going to invite Lil Baby, your favorite rapper, to the White House. I'm going to get all of these guys and get all the cool points and hang out and show Kamala Harris with her chucks and, you know what I'm saying, and do all of this. And it's like, no. Like,
bro, it's the same thing when Hillary was running in 2016. Why she invite Jay-Z to one of her speeches? That was just to get us for entertainment because Hillary Clinton knew that none of her presidential speeches was alluring. We will never show up. So that's what they do. These celebrities just pander, and that's all they do to our community. And we are going to wake up, bro, because the thing is, you got to understand, social media is a new phenomenon. Yeah. Before social media, you have to understand, we have been mainstream media was our only source of information. We got our information from being brainwashed in our school systems and the mainstream media. So I wouldn't even know, to be honest, when I was coming, I didn't even know these type of voices exist. Your voice, I wouldn't have known it would existed. So social media is a new phenomenon, and the more we keep talking and educating people, I don't think this is going to keep going on with our community, bro. We are waking people up.
Well, the thing is, and I think the different political parties, the far right, the far left, Democrats, Republican, I think they're realizing that too. And I think that to try to combat that, at least in the Democratic Party, because let's focus on the Democrats, because the Republicans don't go after the black vote. I think they just go after a percentage of the black vote. I've talked to Maj Toure about this, and he said the Republicans could win by a landslide if they just actually attacked and tried to get the black vote. They're not even trying. But they are more willing to talk to a, Ice Cube or a Dr. Boyce or a Dr. Claude because they have nowhere to go but up. In a lot of cases, they have nowhere to go but up. And what Maj says is if they actually really tried to narrow in on especially black men, you know what I mean? Because we know about the demasculization of black men, especially by a lot of the liberals, the people in the liberal party, and they try to call us all kinds of toxic masculinity and say that we're this and that and, all of that stuff. He said if the Republicans focused on getting us, then it will work. It would actually work, because a lot of the values that the Republican Party, I'm not going to say Trump, but I would say the Republican Party or conservatives, I guess the conservatives, is a lot of what a lot of black men agree with. I mean, it's just the truth. Am I wrong when I say that?
No, you are absolutely right, and that is a weak point of the Republican Party. Like, they don't go after the black men, and black men gave them 18% of the vote. But the thing is, if they go after the black men, you can't be promising things and then don't deliver like how the Democrats do. If they were smart, they would go for it and deliver the promises. And then also, the reason why they are sitting down with us is because they were desperate to win 2020. You got to understand, this is when black people had the most leverage. Right. That's what we're not understanding. We had the most leverage in the Republican Party to shift our votes to them to guarantee a Trump win, and in the Democrat Party, who are afraid of Trump. We were in the middle. We had the most leverage, and we blew it off of. We were scared that Trump was the next coming of Satan, and we had to get rid of him. Yeah. This is why we're in this situation. So when the Republicans see that, well, dang, we trying to work something out, Ice Cube, and black people. And see, this is what we gotta understand, bro. Black people shot Ice Cube down. The white liberal, they didn't have to do nothing. They was quiet. It was all us. So when when the Republicans see that, they're like, there's no point in even working with them. And then when the Democrats see that, they say, well, it ain't no matter what happens, they're always going to be with us. So we're going to ignore them too. This is why we're left in this situation. But yeah, man, the Republicans, they do got to try harder. Stop bringing these black faces out who are more of trashing black people in front of the white people too. That ain't going to work.
Yeah. No, I agree with you completely. Once again, I'm talking to T. Khalik. We started off talking about Lil Baby and his trip to the White House and Kamala Harris. And I also saw a picture of Lil Baby with Nancy Pelosi as well. And so the Democratic elite had a bunch of photo ops with one of the biggest rap stars in the hip hop community, Lil Baby. And it was just very interesting because we see a lot of these photo ops with high powered Democratic, liberal leaders. And we don't see any results for the black party, right? Like for the black people, we don't see any results. We see just a bunch of photo ops and a bunch of I keep hot sauce in my bag. And, if you don't vote for me, you're black. And all of these little mammyisms or whatever they are. But instead of results, we don't really see many results. And we constantly are in this same cycle of we vote. Promises are made. We vote for the Democratic Party. The promises aren't kept. Other people get get their promises, whether it's Asians, Jewish, white people, whoever, and then it's time to vote again. It's whoa. Have we not seen that MLK told us he led us into a burning building, right? Did these things not happen?
They wiped that from history. All that's what what. The part where Martin Luther King said that and regretted it and said, I wanted my 2 acres and a mule and reparations. You notice I was never taught that in school coming up. Were you? Absolutely. I didn't even know that existed until I became an adult. And I had to look into that myself. Mm-hmm. I stopped at I have a dream speech, man.
Absolutely. That was it.
So we gotta understand that is deliberate. That was deliberate. We were not designed to be economically, financially, emotionally dependent. We were never designed that. Independent. We were always designed to be dependent on them. That's why that narrative is always wiped out. This is why they kind of sided with Martin Luther King over Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam anyway. Because the Nation of Islam, them brothers give us our own land, give us our reparations, and we'll handle it. You pay us 20 years, we will do it all by ourselves. We call this clean. They understand that that's going to build power within the black community. So yeah, man, this is why they are treating us like this. This is why Lil Baby and Cardi B, they're the only ones we are going to see on mainstream media. And this is why we have to bring up social media so we can start interviewing the influential black people, pushing them to the front. Yeah. These are the people that we need to listen to, not no Lil Baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking of black media, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, get this video out here because these are messages that need to be passed along. Like, I mean, these are real issues we're talking about here that affect our community. And we want to hear from you, and we want to hear feedback. And we also want people to hear our message as well. Now, T, we know that a midterm election is coming up, right? Now, with the results of what we've seen in the first, 5 or so months of the Joe Biden administration, kind of you had to put on your Nostradamus hat, like your prediction of the future of these midterms. Right now, the Democrats hold, they hold over the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Do you see that reigning supreme come midterm elections after what you've seen the first, 4 months of the Biden-Harris administration so far?
It's going to be hard to say. I know one thing is they're going to turn up the propaganda, big time. Any black person who is kind of impartial in the middle, coon, not going to see the light of day. They're going to probably come up with some racial, they're going to find some black man who got shot, throw it in front of us. If you don't want the Republicans to win. So I'm not, it's hard to say because the other thing is Trump is gone. So there's not really that urgency. These establishment Republicans, they ain't shaking no system up. So, I mean, if they get elected, it's just going to be business as usual. That boogeyman is gone. So to me, it may be a lose-lose situation for black people who, regardless of who wins. But I just know that the propaganda is going to be turned up for black people. And I'm praying that we don't show up. I'm hoping that we stay independent and we put some measures down, but we'll see. But yeah, that's a coin flip to me, man.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like you said, Trump is gone, right? So for the past, since 2016, all things bad, especially to black people, was because Trump was in office. Well, now, bad things are still happening. And not only are they still happening, the promises that were made to our community aren't being kept, but we're seeing other communities get money and we see other communities getting what they demand, and that's taking place. So where does the blame go? Like what are the excuses that are being made to why there can be an Asian hate? Like as soon as the first Asian attack, whenever that was, because they said the pandemic, as soon as the first Asian attack takes place, just like that, they get a hate crime bill. Whereas police or whoever been killing black people for years, and none of that has changed anything. So where does the blame go? What happens next?
We have to stop saying black and brown, bro. And that's no disrespect to the brown people. Like, if y'all get y'all stuff, y'all get it. But in the Asian hate crime thing going on, you even got black people co-signing that, man. And something's got to be done. And it's just that, we are your allies. We understand your pain. So we didn't throw our baggage that we've been dealing with on with theirs, and we elevate theirs, and we got to stop doing that. And then the Asian bill comes, and then we just steady just looking. We just looking like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, bro. Like so we have to stop that. I blame. The thing is, I put the blame on us. The reason being is because if we don't hold anyone accountable, this is going to keep happening. This is like if you have a son who keeps getting in trouble and you never hold them accountable. You always side with them. They are never wrong. It no matter what, they're never wrong. They're going to keep engaging in that behavior until you finally put your foot down. So this is a time where black people have to, who are in the know, like this whole channel, got to keep speaking out. And black people, once it start resonating, we have to put this into action. And we can't be fearmonger. We got to stop saying, if these Republicans win, we're going to be put back in slavery. The white man is going to get emboldened and call you the N-word or like beat you up as if you can't fight back. If he swing at me, I'm not going to swing back. I'm going to cry. No, we cannot be scared. We got to stand up and say, so what? We've been through worse. You don't want these racist white Republicans win? Then you owe us. What are you going to give us? And that's it. If that, they're going to win. They're going to push their anti-LGBT agenda that y'all fight for all the anti. We don't care. We got to be strong on our word like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Once again, I'm talking to T. Khalik, here on the Black Boss channel. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. I just got a couple more points and we can get on up out of here. We started off talking about a little baby and his meeting with Kamala Harris. And we see this a lot, especially with the Democratic Party. They love to bring in black celebrities. They love to bring in black people who kind of side with them, but never really black people that can make an impact in the right way. Never really black people who are going to demand or challenge them on some of their, some of what's been taking place over the last, since 1965, right? Like we see a lot of the same faces, whether it's celebrities, entertainers, rappers, comedians, whoever, but not really people who was going to come up there with some valid points and real moments of change. And T, I'm going to get you out of here on this. I'm just curious, man. Like you said, because of the age of social media, things are starting to change. But one of the ways I see the try to limit the black vote, not the black vote, but the black voice, is by censoring them and by making a lot of illegals legal, right? So a lot of people think, like you said, there's this black-brown coalition. But a lot of the brown Asians and the brown Latinos, they don't care about black issues. They care about Latino issues. They care about Asian issues. So what is your thought on the censorship? Do you think a wave of censorship is coming and or a wave of making a lot of illegal immigrants legal, and that can then silence the black voice and diminish the black vote? What are your thoughts on that?
I think the censorship is probably the worst than the illegal immigration, because if you silence the voice, we can't educate our people. It's here, but it's going to get progressively worse. It came in 2016 because of Trump getting elected, everyone was talking about it. And that woke up a lot of people to social media, a lot of people getting their news off social media. And if you notice, the news media companies was blaming Facebook and social media for fake news that Trump won. And what they do is that they take someone that you don't like. Black people don't like Trump. So they're like, you know what? Because of fake news, because of Russia, Trump got elected, and you social media giants is not doing enough. This is why now that we see on Facebook, when you put an article up, you get some stupid fact check. If you say anything that's maybe derogatory, you can get censored off Facebook, you get censored off YouTube. That is designed for intellectual people like us to watch what we say. And I'm telling you, if black people start getting on code and talking, they will go after the heads and censor them for some minor thing. Like, you could be criticizing feminism and they'll be like, you hate women, get out of here. So that's the scary thing. And what's interesting is that a lot of black people talking about censorship. So my thing is, we know what side is pushing it. Why do we keep voting for it? That's what I don't understand. So yeah, man, the immigration thing is another thing to dilute the black vote. So, let's say we do end up getting woke. Well, we don't have that leverage no more. We don't have those numbers anymore to really make a difference. That is another thing. So yeah, but the censorship is worse because we can't even have that conversation on immigration if we get censored. So black people must stop pushing it. I don't care if it's a white man that you don't like. If he talks greasy, talk greasy back, refute his arguments, but don't cheer on censorship because you quote unquote think he's a racist and he's influential. Just criticize him back. Like, you gotta understand, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and all the leaders, they went through worse. They was being called an N-word to their face. Yes, they were so intelligent enough to sit down with the white man and have some very intelligent conversations. We can't have that. You don't even see that no more. We don't have intelligent racial conversations because it's sensitive, and that's designed for the situation to never get better. So yeah, we better take the censorship stuff seriously. They coming at the YouTube social media because we are doing way better numbers than the mainstream media. Okay, if they were doing better than us, we wouldn't even be on the map. But because we are doing better, they are coming for us, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we see like a number of black leaders, whether it's Farrakhan, T, you've had post remove, you've had, you've been in Facebook jail, is what they like to call it, for what, 30 days and different things at a time. So, like, the censorship is real. T, I just want you, give me an example of something that got you banned from Facebook. Like, what was one of the reasons that they threw you in what they call Facebook jail? What was the post, and kind of what was that like?
Well, I think they're throwing everything with race in it, and this was it was really trivial. I was watching a show on Netflix called Ippin, and they had this strong black man, but his white, he had a white wife that looked less than attractive to me. I was like, why they? So I just typed, why they get him this ugly white girl? I think because I said ugly, then the race and the woman, that got me canned for 30 days. I was like, wow. But yeah, but you see, it was never like that in the past, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was never like that. Now it's like it's just with any race. And to me, if we can't have racial conversations and really call out problematic things, because there could be some problematic things about white people that I need to specifically address white people on this problematic thing, or if something that Asians is doing, and I want to address it, I can't say it because they will say, well, you are marginalizing these minority groups. Like, it's nonsense, man. But yeah, that small stuff really is designed to stop us from talking. They ain't protecting no groups. They ain't protecting no groups, man.
Yeah, man. That's just it's just really wild to really think about. That censorship thing is really, really, really. I mean, I've had post banned. I think my conversation on one of the YouTube channels, I forgot which one, but it was removed because Maj was on there talking about, liberals and different, certain keywords get post banned. You say liberals or the shot, or you talk about, the shot or the vaccine or whatever, those different things will really get you, really get your post removed and get you banned for a certain amount of time. If you say, like I said, the wrong words, and my post with Maj got erased, I think something with Reza Islam, he can't keep an Instagram account or a Facebook account for his life. I think he's on what they call the Forbidden 12. So anything with his name in it gets immediately removed. And so I think that's it's scary. Like you said, it's really scary because it's really putting a muzzle on the movement. I mean, on the real movement. Like, man, if you say Black Lives Matter and things like that, and say you're going to donate to Patrice Cullors and those people, you can talk all you want. But when you start to really get into the heart of the real grassroots movement, it can get really dicey and really ugly on that.
Yeah, bro. Like I said, if this channel reaches 1 million subscribers, or any black person that's really not talking like how you turn on CNN or Fox and you see that, they are going to have a target on their back. And really, I want that to happen, to be honest with you, because I want to test how far the black community is going to tolerate this. Are we finally going to get on code and say enough is enough? Now you guys are silencing effectively, or are we just going to let it happen and say, well, there's some white supremacists that's talking noise, so we got to get rid of them? I mean, we have to understand, if there's freedom of speech, it's going to be freedom of speech for all. And the purpose of freedom of speech is to protect speech that you don't like. And sadly, there are gonna be some racist white boys out there. We can't control that, but we're gonna have to be strong enough and not allow them to to allow them to scare us to where we now need the government to control everything, because then we can't talk with one another. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna. I mean, if the African Americans did that in the past, when they had it worse, and we produced some scholars. There were some intelligent brothers. We could do the same thing. We are just as strong and just as talented. We are not a weak race of people. I refuse to believe that.
Absolutely. We've been through way too much to be considered a weak race of people. We've been through too much. We've come too far. It's been some hurdles, and there've been a lot of people that look like me and you to keep us back, because they're getting a dollar hung over their head. But we're getting there. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. There's so many beautiful black scholars and beautiful black activists that are really with boots on the ground, really got their ear to the streets and hearing out the people, and not just the folks who are just not doing anything. Once again, I'm talking to T. Khalik. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. T, I'll leave you the final word before we get out of here, buddy.
Yeah, just black people, we gotta have more self-esteem. no more tolerating nonsense. If any of our celebrities gets interviewed who doesn't talk anything about politics, who is the lowest of the low, we got to put our foot down and we got to have consequences. And those consequences need to ring hard, meaning it may hurt if there's going to be a Republican Congress. It may hurt, but that is going to teach people who do us wrong a lesson. We've been through worse. Okay, we didn't die en masse under Trump, okay? And that was the worst white man. That was supposed to be the racist white man we ever seen. We still here. So we cannot allow the disrespect to continue. Put your foot down, have some dignity. These people will bend to you once they see that you're not playing. That's all I want to say, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, once again, I'm Jeff Lightsey Jr. That's T. Khalik. This is the Black Boss Channel. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, because we're building Black media, and we want people to see this message that T spoke, that some of the things that I said, and leave your thoughts in the chat and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you guys once again. Hit the thumbs up button, and we are out.